Violence. We had 6 shootings in the month of August. That has brought us to 16 shootings so far. My officers will provide updates shortly, but I want to speak directly to one of those incidences. In a recent shooting, over 30 rounds of ammunition were fired into a home and a parked car in a residential neighborhood. Inside that home was a family that, based on our investigation, had absolutely nothing to do with this crime. We believe they were the wrong target. Thankfully, no one was physically injured, but this was an outrageous act that could have claimed the lives of innocent people. This kind of violence and the total disregard for public safety is a symptom of a larger issue. And that larger issue lies with the criminal justice system. I want to be very clear. We need bail reform. We need bail reform now. We need to review the Youth Criminal Justice Act, and we need harsher sentences for those convicted of serious violent crimes and repeat offenders.
As our chief of police spoke about, the number of shootings and other violent crimes in Canada and London, Ontario have skyrocketed within the past few months. The worst part is that many of these violent crimes and terrible acts were committed by our youth and repeat offenders. This leads many Canadian citizens to worry about and wonder if our justice system is truly good enough. As our police chief said, he thinks that a reform of our justice system is 100% necessary, or else many shootings and violent acts will continue throughout the following years and the number will only rise. In 2024, there was over 800 shootings in Canada, which is a very troublesome number for a gun-free country. In my opinion, this calls for a complete renewal of the criminal justice system and the bail system, especially for youth offenders and repeat offenders. Since 2014, our violent crime rate and crime rate in general has skyrocketed. Many of these acts being committed by youth offenders and repeat offenders that were let out early by our system. Our criminal justice system in Canada is heavily flawed and far too passive for the acts that have been committed. In my opinion, this system must be renewed, or else there will be consequences, such as a higher crime rate and more criminals coming to the streets. They can do whatever they want. Luckily, Professor Waller and our London, Ontario Chief of Police have been able to combine their abilities and convince the City Council to give a $672 million bonus to police in hopes of funding to stop these violent acts. Hopefully, if this prevails, other cities around Canada will follow, seeing London, Ontario as an example, even if they have one of the highest crime rates in Canada and one of the highest shooting rates over the past few months. Today, I'm with a fellow citizen, a concerned citizen, to get his opinion on our country's criminal justice system and what his opinions may be on our youth criminal justice system. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, what's up?
What is your opinion on Canada's criminal justice system?
I think they're too lenient. I think we should treat the youth with the same amount of punishment as the adults.
I also believe that repeat offenders should be treated more harshly. If you've been locked up more than once, the punishment can't just stay 5 months, since you're going to keep doing it.
Indeed. I agree with that. People are not going to learn if you just do the same thing, do the same punishment. You need to be more strict with them, more harsh. That's how people learn.
Yes. I have heard multiple stories of people who have committed terrible violent acts, such as stealing with armed assault, or even murdering someone and only getting a few months in prison, or even getting away entirely. What's your opinion on that?
I do believe they should be in prison for longer, but I also firmly believe in rehabilitation. I believe it does work, but prison time and punishment is still very important.
That's a very good point you made. Rehabilitation is very important for our country, but it gets to a limit. Our country is far too forgiving with our criminals. Instead of just focusing on rehabilitation, we have to show them punishment so they're afraid to do it again. Is that your opinion as well?
That is my opinion.
All right.
Spot on.
Thank you for your time, good sir.
Yes, sir.
I hope to meet you again. Today, I'm here with another concerned citizen of our country, asking him about the criminal justice system and what his opinions of it are. Excuse me, sir. Do you think the criminal justice system is good enough in our country? Do you think we should have harsher punishments for both children and repeat offenders?
I think harsher punishments are needed in certain circumstances. Like repeat offense, I think it should be more harsh. Because you can't be getting away with the same stuff multiple times and nothing be changing, right?
I agree fully because, and I also believe some children should be tried as adults in cases of violent crimes such as murder, armed robbery, or rape.
Exactly, yeah. I believe that kind of there's a certain point where crimes aren't judged by age but judged by the crime themselves, right? There's no such I don't think there's anything as I don't think there should be a difference in whether a 30-year-old kills somebody and a 12-year-old kills somebody, right? It's the same crime, just different age.
Exactly. As he said, being tried by age shouldn't make a difference, because if you're conscious enough to end someone else's life, you should not be able to be free on the streets because you will have those same thoughts again. That is why it is my and many other concerned citizens' opinion that the criminal justice system in our country needs to be reworked, especially for the bail system and youth in our country. And repeat offenders cannot be allowed to go on the streets after committing the same crime multiple times. That is why I hope that our justice system is changed and that other cities around Canada look at London, Ontario and their funding, and if that is successful, they will follow in our footsteps. Okay, today I'm with yet another concerned citizen about the criminal justice system and how we treat our youth compared to other offenders. Excuse me, sir, would you mind sharing your opinion on the criminal justice system?
Well, if I have to be honest, I think the criminal justice system is too harsh, particularly on the youth groups. The harsh truth is they commit not a majority, but they commit a lot of crimes, and our sympathy for the growing youth and the fact that they make mistakes makes the criminal justice system too lenient. A lot of them are criminals, and we need to be as harsh as we are to them as we are to adults. And this doesn't mean that we should be too harsh on them just because they're youth, but we should show the exact same amount of respect, exact same amount of harshness and everything else that we oppose
To adults.
to adults, pretty much.
That is an amazing opinion because it's true. A lot of our youth in this country, they don't fear the law and they don't understand what consequences are. That is why I'm happy to have been here today with many other citizens who, just like myself, hold the same opinions. And hopefully, with this petition and with the support of London and the London City Council, not only London, Ontario will become a better and safer place with harsher punishments and teach the youth and repeat offenders that they can't get away with this, but also the rest of Canada will have an appropriate criminal justice system that is far less lenient and will follow in the footsteps of other countries around the world. As you've seen, I've talked to many other concerned citizens like myself, and they've given their opinions about the criminal justice system and the youth justice system. Now, we're going to go to the police chief himself and Professor Irvin Waller to see what they have to say about the situation.
Mr. Chuang, what are your thoughts on the criminal justice system and the youth system?
Well, as I said before, the criminal justice system in our country is far too lenient, and these criminals need to be punished harsher, as well as the youth. As much as I hate to say it, although we are a very compassionate country, we are too compassionate. The youth often commit violent crimes in prison or in a jail cell for only a few days, so they think it's okay to recreate it. Instead, I say we make the punishments harsher and the bail system less lenient. I think this because recently, over the last few months of August and September, in my city of London, Ontario, there has been more shootings in the past few months than in the past years. There was 14 shootings in August and September, one of which had 30 rounds fired into a house of innocent civilians. One of the drivers was a youth. This is why I believe the system needs to be fully reworked and that the city should give me funds and the rest of Canada should follow by reworking their own justice systems for their cities. And hopefully, eventually, we'll have a much better justice system all across the country. That's my piece. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Now it is my turn as London, Ontario Chief of Police to interview my good friend Irvin Waller, who is a professor of criminology, and see what his opinions on the matter are. Excuse me, Professor, please give us your insight on the situation.
As professor of criminology and who's dedicated my life to researching this, I can safely say that the justice system of Canada is far weaker than other countries around the world.
Thank you. And would you like to touch on the youth in our country and if you think their criminal justice system is strong enough?
Absolutely. The youth today does not fear the law, so we have to put the fear in them by giving them a much worse sentence
Yes, I do believe harsher punishments for our youth is necessary in these situations, especially when you see kids running around the streets selling weed, drugs, and other things to other children. Also, when many of our youth are the ones committing these violent acts. And I will ask you now, have you ever seen it this bad in your past couple of years of teaching?
No, this is the bad. This is really bad. Really, really bad.
That is what I feared. And that is through these different topics that we've discussed, me and my good friend, Professor Waller, have decided to combine our efforts and convince the London City Council to give my police a $672 million budget extension to hopefully eradicate the criminal problem in our city. I know I won't be able to eradicate crime entirely, but hopefully the violent crime rate will go down steadily over the next couple of years, and within 50 years, crime rate will have dropped by 75%. Professor Waller, you stated about budgeting and what you believe is necessary in high criminal activity cities. Could you speak on that?
Yeah. I believe that we need $25 million budgets for high criminal rated cities here in London and possibly other provinces here in Canada.
Thank you. And as I would like to point out, you said before that $1 million budgets won't cut it. If you have anything lower than $25 million, you'll see no decrease in criminal activity. That is why I'm very thankful that due to your efforts and my efforts, we've convinced our city council to give us a large budget to help fix this problem. Thank you, and I hope other cities follow in our footsteps to make Canada a safer country once again. We need you. Now, fair citizens of Canada, we have questions to ask you.
Our first question is, do you believe that our justice system needs fixing?
And our second question is, do you believe we are harsh enough on our youth, or do you believe we need to be harsher on these youth offenders?